Hello, everyone out there in podcast world. You're listening to Service Business Mastery Podcast. I'm your host, Tersh Blissett. You might actually be watching this episode. We're going to be demoing Ohana software. And on today's episode, we have Christina Zerfas, and she has the privilege of sharing this software with us. And I'm super excited to bring this to you. Normally, we're strictly audio. We have been doing a little bit of video lately, but I felt like today's episode, it would be very helpful if we were able to share this via visual a demo, and I can ask questions that I get asked a lot. So with that being said, Christina, if you would quickly give us a brief history of yourself and the program in general.
Absolutely. So my background is really in entrepreneurship. I like to say by personality, profession, and degree. So I went to school for it. It's definitely run in my blood. And coming out of school, I got engaged in startups in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is a very fascinating tech scene, actually. We have a lot of, it's a little bit unexpected, but we actually, an acquisition caused us to be Salesforce HQ2, which actually created a large environment here for startups. And that's been very interesting because a lot of our startups also have connections in the manufacturing space, which is where the city's longer history is involved. So being able to kind of see how those industries blend has been very interesting for me. And so in my latest endeavor, I've been working with Ohana software. We were actually started out of an IT consulting firm that was looking to solve communication issues internally. They were facing the problems that a lot of companies face with the remote workforce, being great community, great personalities, but not having everybody in the same office. So how do they keep that professional and social communication high? So they actually built themselves an internal app, which is what eventually became Ohana software, to help them communicate in all of those ways. I'm really excited to show it here today because other companies started saying, hey, that seems to be working for you. Maybe we can buy it off of you. And that's how Ohana really became its own thing. I think that piece of the story is really cool because it shows that, Ohana was really designed to solve an issue that the designers, felt. It was their own problem. And now, since we've expanded, we've really noticed that we have a specialty in small to medium-sized businesses, particularly those that are with remote workforces, a lot of home services, so a lot of HVAC, plumbing, electrical companies who might not really see other people on the day-to-day, but have, a professional duty to represent their company really well and need to stay in high communication.
That's really cool. So in a previous conversation, we kind of alluded to, because we talked probably a month or so ago about this initially. And so currently we use Slack and Trello. Would we be able to get rid of those if we went over to Ohana?
Many companies can when they make that transition. The idea of the design of Ohana was really to put all of those kind of communications into one form. Now, I will say, not everybody just uses the one platform. If they have other platforms they want to use, our company really is about solving communication issues. That's what keeps us going on the day-to-day. So we actually kind of consult with each client we work with, help them use the best systems. So if that's some sort of a combination of Ohana and Trello or Ohana and Slack, we can do that. But we do see a lot of our clients streamlining their systems into one platform by transferring over to Ohana.
Cool. So I will stop asking questions because I'm sure you're going to answer a lot of those whenever we go through the demo portion of it. But I guess with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. And if you'll share your screen and run us through this demo process, because I'm super interested in seeing everything.
Great. And I'm excited to share. So let me know when you're ready and you can see this.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, great. So what we are actually seeing here, I'm showing the web app today. And the reason I'm showing that is because you can actually see all of the different portions of our application on one screen, which is what was requested by clients when we actually developed this. And the reason it happened that way is because we are a mobile first platform. So we do, I'd say the majority of our users are using this on a mobile device. And so there's about 5 tabs on the mobile device that it's broken down into, but only one screen on the web application. So just keep that in mind as we're going through.
Cool.
The first thing that is kind of a differentiator for us is our news feed. That's what the phone would actually open to if you were looking in the mobile view. And that's this portion in the middle that you're seeing right here. Very intentionally, what we've done with Ohana is we want the lowest barrier of entry for all users possible, including employees that may or may not have a high use of technology. You know, that can differ person to person, age group to age group, whatever have you. But so we intentionally designed this, as you'll notice here, to be like a Facebook or a LinkedIn. You have a post, you can like, you can comment. The idea of Ohana really is that there's a 360 communication. So when you send out information that maybe you would send out in an email or a company newsletter, you know, perhaps some CEO wisdom or company insights, people can comment or respond to say that they've seen it instead of hitting that reply all button that everybody loves so much. And flooding people's inbox. So that's a little bit of the standard post views. And then what we also have done is broken it into all these other different components that people might want to see in their company communication. My personal favorite, and definitely a hit among our clients, is the high five feature. Everybody likes hearing good news, especially during stressful times. And so this is a great way to just appreciate people for the good work that they have done. From this high five feature, you're able to just share a little bit about the work that that person has done. You are able to actually click into that person's profile and learn a little bit more about them. These profiles are designed for each employee. They've got email contact, phone contact. You can share a little bit about themselves. You have their listed skills, which are actually searchable in the directory. I'll cover that a little later on. And fun facts that are customizable by companies. We really see companies taking this kind of information one of two ways. Some keep it really professional. They say, what are your normal working hours? What's the best way to contact you? And then we have other companies who say, what's your spirit animal? I'd say most companies might fall in the in-between, you know, perhaps what is your favorite birthday treat? And then that can be given to you when, you know, your special day arrives. So,
or what's your childhood smell like?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Or what's your childhood smell like?
Yeah, or what's your childhood smell like? Which I got to say, Tersh is one of the best icebreaker questions I've heard of. And I've asked many people since we first spoke. So from that high five too, there's a little bit of gamification to the application. So if you receive a high five, you get 100 points. If you like or you comment or you post, you get point values for all these different actions. And then that can actually be shown up here in over where you'd see your profile image this, on this demo account, which has the company logo. But then those points can actually be used in contests. So for the more competitive companies, we see the use of this feature. You can enter, and on the admin side, either pick a random winner or a selected winner, depending on what the contest is. And you can run that. We see, again, all sorts of crazy things, anything from Halloween desk decorating contests to, entering to win lunch with the CEO on, you know, just encouraging engagement raffles.
Cool.
We also have a virtual suggestion box. So kind of feature 4 of 5 here on the news feed is just to help people share their ideas. We have different admin preferences on our app. So some companies you can have, especially with the smaller, we see it's popular that anybody can post at any time. But we do have companies who don't want to give that permission to everybody to post to the full company. So there's admin only can post. But most of our clients are in the anybody can submit a post to an admin, which can then be posted, which is a nice way to encourage communication by everybody while still having some filter and making sure that your company brand is taken care of.
That's cool.
This idea feature always goes to an admin no matter what setting you're on, and that way the admins can actually review it and push it to the newsfeed or not push it to the newsfeed, depending on what that idea is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I can only imagine some of the ideas that may come through there.
You know, that couldn't
with our company
entertainment on the job.
With our company, there's no telling. HR would be involved a lot if that wasn't scripted out, if that wasn't checked out by admin for sure.
We do have, as with the admin features, you can add multiple admins to each group. So you'll notice too that, you can post just to a certain office or geographic region. We even had somebody when Game of Thrones was finishing up that had a Game of Thrones interest group. So whatever works.
Cool.
But you can have multiple admins in each group. So we do see a lot of HR leads have kind of a hand in that side of the equation. I'd say across the board, welcome to the team, new employee posts are probably our most popular. So that's definitely a big one. Birthday and anniversary posts are also really big. All of those engagement items that you might not want to send an all company email to. We really see Ohana as a filter over an aggregator. So where you might see your company email or your Slack really fill up with a ton of information all in one location. This allows you to have all the pertinent information by user, so you just see what's relevant to you. More high five is always a popular one, and I'd say that this last feature that we're seeing here is just survey. So that's, you can actually have some auto surveys that are more of a pulse model to check engagement and see how people are doing across the company. These things like I receive frequent performance feedback and coaching. But you can also customize your surveys. I'd say the most popular is what food should we have at the next all company meeting? That's definitely a really big hit and probably receives the most participation out of any surveys that we've seen. That kind of gives you a good idea on the news feed. It really helps tell your company narrative and allows many contributors, instead of HR representatives having to ask for what company news there is to share and then pushing that out.
Do you ever see anybody that will post a with us, we have a lot of the guys out in the field will take pictures of jobs and then they'll just share it, typically like in a Slack post, but then it kind of gets lost in that. Mm-hmm. Do you ever see anybody like creating a post or a section, or is there a way to create something so that it's for your images for marketing to share?
Absolutely. We have a lot of those. I think we even have one company that has a specific group just for job site photos. And other companies who just encourage their employees to post those, to the all company page. It's great content for marketing, especially, depending on your job, any jobs, it would be great content for marketing. We have one company in particular that's a pool installation company that does fancy pools. And so they get some spectacular shots, especially from those employees in Arizona that have, the nice weather.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All the time. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds really awesome. Actually, that news feed. It's very much like you said, like a LinkedIn, Facebook, that type of thing. So we're used to that already. So it's not something that we have to teach people.
Yes, and that's really big for us because communication is complicated no matter which way you slice it. There's always, from the giving and the receiving end, there's always complications. So we feel that as, an avenue to help people communicate, we need to, keep it as simple and direct as possible. So the familiarity that we offer with our software is one of those big factors we try and lean in.
Cool.
So the other features that we have here is a company page. So, this would be a separate tab on your phone screen. This allows you to share mission, visions, values, about your company. That's especially great for when you have these remote workforces. Not everybody comes into the same building. You don't just, slap your mission on the wall and call it a day. It also has a little bit of your company information. On that same tab in the phone app, which here is this different section, is actually document uploads as well. So by department, you can actually lean into, okay, I need to get an HR document. I need to see my Ohana employee engagement book. And then you can access that directly from the app. Gives people a really direct way to access anything from job site blueprints to, to your benefits summary. Even though Office Wi-Fi password, if you're not in there every day, can all be uploaded here so that people know a direct location to go and they don't have to be sorting through emails or messing with it.
Nice.
We also see that, sometimes those features are super relevant, to an employee. Sometimes they're not. So you can actually favorite documents too, and access the ones that you see most frequently from your favorites bucket. Helps you, again, personalize and filter out the information employee by employee, so they can access really what's pertinent.
Sweet.
This last feature over here is actually a company directory. So what you'll see is you can search by name, pretty standard. You can also search by skill and title. So for example, we have some companies that might need employees with a forklift certification to do certain jobs. So they can actually search for that skill here. And then when they actually dive into somebody's profile, they will be able to see, based on that skills list that I showed you before, if that person is qualified to do that job, or if you have an Excel question, because who doesn't face one of those eventually,
right?
You can find them here. And that takes you back to the page I was showing you earlier with the About Me, the skills, and those fun facts. You can also upload additional photos here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you can tag people in photos?
You can tag people. So when you're doing a post in the newsfeed, you can tag them in the creation of that post, just like you would tag them on your standard social media.
Sweet. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So from the user side, that's a pretty good overview of our offerings.
Yeah. So how do we learn more about everything? How do we get in touch with you? How do we know how it's priced? Because I think it's priced differently it's tier-based pricing, isn't it?
Yes, it's mostly for the small and medium-sized businesses, which I know is most of our audience today. What we're looking at is Cynthia, who was the woman who actually founded this product. Is just such a wonderful woman and business owner, and she would love to sit down with every employee each month and grab them a cup of coffee. So that actually was her inspiration for the pricing. So not being able to do that with such a widespread workforce was a lot of the inspiration for building this app the way that she did. So the pricing is $5 a user per month, which is the concept of buying each employee a cup of coffee each month.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So
she's so smart.
She is so smart. Yeah. She's high IQ and high EI at the same time, which is an impressive combination.
That is very impressive. Very impressive. Cool. So how do we get in touch with you? How do we learn more and all that?
Great. There's several ways that you can get in touch. We obviously have a website, which can be found at tryohana.com, which is a great way to get connected. You can find us on LinkedIn as well, another great way. And I'm, of course, happy to connect with anybody directly. You can actually reach me at my email, which is my first initial, my last name. So CZerfas, that's ZERFAS, at tryohana.com is another great way. I'm happy to field any questions and get connected. And I will say right now we're actually, with the coronavirus issues that everybody's having, communications are top of mind. So we've actually just made a company-wide decision that we are actually going to offer our platform free to new clients through June to help them with their communications through crisis. So if that's something people are interested in, please, the best way to get in contact about that piece in particular is directly.
Straight through you? Is that what you said?
Yeah, straight through me is the best way.
Okay, perfect. Mm-hmm. And I will add all this stuff to the show notes too. And
Great.
That's really thoughtful of y'all to do that for everybody that's listening. It's a crisis right now. Like we were talking about before, we've been remote, so we're used to working from home or remote offices. But there are definitely a lot of service companies out there that are like, I don't know what to do next. Like we're used to seeing each other every day, and so I think that this is a really cool platform to kind of ease that burden and that transition from being all on one site to go and possibly stay in remote even after the fact. So cool.
It's going to be very interesting to see what direction companies take it.
I agree 100%. I agree, Christina. So thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you for sharing all of this. And if you're watching this, please don't hesitate to reach out. reach out to me, reach out to Christina. And as always, my email address is tersh@serviceemperor.com. Or if you use icebound.us, it still comes to the same one. But we swapped over emails now since we rebranded. But connect, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. And we'd love to chat with you more and share more about Ohana with you. So like I said, don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions. Again, thank you for listening to or watching the Service Business Mastery Podcast, the podcast focused on service business owners, managers, and technicians who are considering becoming business owners themselves. Until we talk again next time, have a great day.